From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana, Siddiqui. Our top story tonight, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been arrested. Khan was appearing on charges of corruption at the Islamabad High Court today when he was taken into custody. He says those charges are politically motivated. The Chief Justice of the court furiously said he can take action against the former premier. Protests were reported in several cities as Twitter has been shut down. Dozens of cases have been brought against Khan since he was ousted from power last year. On Monday, the military warned him against making what they called baseless allegations after he again accused a senior officer of plotting to kill him. Khan had accused the officer of involvement in the assassination attempt against him in Wazirabad last November. U.S. Congress failing to raise a nation's debt limit would cause calamity for the world's biggest economy, the Treasury Secretary has warned. It could lead to the country defaulting on its debt. Janet Yellen told ABC Network's This Week program on Sunday, "We would simply not have enough cash to meet all of our obligations," adding that financial and economic chaos would ensue. The government could default on its debt as early as June 1st, she reiterated. Yellen said Biden invited congressional leaders to come to the White House Tuesday to discuss spending priorities. She said since 1960, the debt ceiling has been raised 78 times, 3 times during the prior administration, always with bipartisan support. On Friday, President Joe Biden said the debt ceiling should be raised without any conditions attached to it by the Republicans. The U.S. hit its $31.4 trillion debt limit on January 19th. President Joe Biden is urging Congress to pass a bill banning assault weapons after the latest shooting in Texas. 8 people were killed and at least 7 injured in a mall shooting on Saturday in the Texas city of Allen, about 30 miles north of Dallas. Biden is calling on Congress to send a bill banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. He said on Twitter such legislation should also enact universal background checks, require safe storage, and end immunity for gun manufacturers. Arizona State Senator Juan Mendez and the Arizona Muslim Alliance have joined forces to propose an office for new Americans in Arizona. 13 other states have similar offices that help immigrants assimilate. The initiative provides a centralized location for immigrant resources such as language classes and resettlement assistance. Mendez and his wife, Representative Athena Salman, a Tempe Democrat, both come from families of immigrants. Mendez's parents immigrated from Mexico, while Salman's mother is from Mexico and her father is from Palestine. Mendez said he has been working on the legislation for years and is collaborating with the Muslim community. Susan Basal, Secretary of the Arizona Muslim Alliance, said the office could be helpful for Afghan refugees who fled after Afghanistan fell to the Taliban in 2021. Recent attacks on mosques in Minneapolis have increased concerns by Somali American imams, mosque administrators, and community activists about the safety of their congregations. Fires were set at the Masjid Omar Islamic Center on April 23rd and Masjid al-Rahma on April 24th, Minneapolis police said. Jailani Hussain, executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations Minnesota, was inside Masjid al-Rahma when someone set fire to the 3rd floor. Hussain said he was meeting with the imam about the safety of his congregation when the fire occurred. He added that no one was hurt and more than 40 children who were in the mosque's daycare were evacuated safely. On April 29th, authorities arrested Jackie Ram Little on a state charge of second-degree arson regarding the April 24th fire at Masjid al-Rahma. Little has been indicted on federal charges of arson and damage to religious property. The Associated Press reports that investigators are looking into a series of crimes targeting Muslims and Somali Americans. Imam Yusuf Abdullahi, executive director of the Islamic Association of North America, said he fears more arson attacks endangering the lives of Muslim congregations nationwide. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed multiple bills prohibiting Chinese citizens from purchasing land in his state. On Monday, DeSantis signed State Bill 264, SB 846, and SB 258 into law. SB 264 forbids government entities from contracting with foreign countries and entities of concern. It also restricts conveyances of agricultural lands and other interests in real property to foreign principals. That includes the People's Republic of China and others affiliated with the country. Fox Florida affiliate WTVT reported the legislation will allow Chinese citizens with non-tourist visas to acquire single parcels of land less than 2 acres and at least 5 miles from military installations. SB 864 will bar state colleges and universities, as well as their employees and representatives, from accepting any gifts in their official capacities from a college or university based in a foreign country of concern. The United States is criticizing the Arab League's decision to readmit Syria. U.S. officials said Syrian President Bashar al-Assad does not deserve normalization after the country's brutal civil war. State Department spokesman Vedant Patel on Monday said the U.S. will not normalize our relations with the Assad regime, and we don't support our allies and partners doing so either. The U.S. has repeatedly voiced opposition to reconciliation with Syria. U.S. law forbids any assistance for reconstruction without accountability for abuses during the war. Critics say the Arab League's decision effectively concludes Assad has won the war in Syria that has killed 500,000 people and displaced half the pre-war population since 2011. However, Patel downplayed the disagreements and said the U.S. shared common objectives with many of its Arab partners on Syria. He said the U.S. would work with Arab partners on expanding humanitarian access to Syrians and supporting stability to prevent a resurgence of the terrorist group ISIS. 19 million set to suffer food insecurity in Sudan. Details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. The United Nations is warning that nearly 19 million Sudanese will suffer from food insecurity amid ongoing fighting between the army and paramilitary forces. The conflict has left more than 550 people dead and injured thousands. Farhan Haq is deputy spokesman for the UN Secretary General. He said the World Food Programme expects the number of acutely food insecure people in Sudan will increase by between 2 and 2.5 million people. That raises the total number to 19 million people in the next 3 to 6 months if the conflict continues, he added. Haq reiterated an appeal by the UN Refugee Agency to secure $445 million to support an outflow of refugees from Sudan and to provide aid in the next 6 months. 40 Israeli jets bombed Gaza Tuesday morning, killing 13 Palestinians. The airstrikes targeted leaders of the Islamic Jihad group, killing 3 commanders along with 4 women and 4 children. Islamic Jihad is considered the second largest armed group in Gaza after Hamas. The group said a response to the Israeli aggression will not take long. Islamic Jihad spokesperson Tariq Salmi said the bombardment will be met by bombardment and the attack will be met by an attack. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh, based in Qatar, said the assassination of leaders will not bring the occupation security, but more resistance. Protests have been held outside Thai embassies and consulates in Germany and the United States. They were sparked by the death of an Uighur refugee at an immigration detention center in Bangkok last month. Metohti Betqurban died of suspected liver failure. He was one of 350 Uighur men, women, and children who fled China in 2014. Metqurban had been held at the Thai facility since March 2014 and was among about 50 Uighur men who remained in detention there. He was the 5th Uighur to die in the facility since 2018 and the 2nd one to die this year. Metqurban's death has raised concern among members of the global Uighur diaspora about the Thai government's continued detention of Uighur refugees. On Friday, Uighur activists protesting in Germany and 4 U.S. cities demanded Thailand's government improve the condition of Uighur refugees in detention. They called for the country to allow UN human rights officers to have access to detainees. Thailand has not ratified the UN's Refugee Convention. The Turkish government is raising its workers' salaries by 45%, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said. His announcement on Tuesday comes 5 days before Turks vote in presidential and parliamentary elections. Polls show Erdogan is in a tight race with the main opposition presidential candidate, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. Erdogan announced a pay raise at a meeting in the capital Ankara to discuss the economic and social rights of public workers. The lowest public worker wage will be raised to $768 per month, he said. Erdogan said he would also continue to work on raising the wages and pensions of civil servants. A glacier in the north of Greenland is melting faster and in a different way than scientists previously thought. That has troubling implications for the future speed of global sea level rise, experts say. The new discovery was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences on Monday. Scientists found warming ocean water had melted a cavity in the bottom of Petermann Glacier taller than the Washington Monument, the Associated Press reported. If other glaciers in Greenland and Antarctica behave the same way, it could double predictions for how quickly the burning of fossil fuels will melt ice and raise sea levels. Study author Eric Ringot A University of California Irvine glaciologist told the AP the current projections are too conservative. The Petermann Glacier is a massive glacier in northwest Greenland that contains enough ice to raise sea levels by a little more than a foot, the study authors noted. It is one of 4 Greenland ice masses that make up the largest threat for rapid sea level rise from Greenland in the coming decades. Before we end today's news, I'd like to make a special request. It takes our team a combined 55 hours of work daily to produce this news for you. It is news with a unique perspective, and you will find it only here. Sound Vision is a not-for-profit organization which produces it, and just like NPR and PBS, it depends on your donations. Please visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, or click on the link below to donate. Thank you. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.